Okay, here's some review problems on some simple interest depreciation questions that we had. And basically we're going to be using our main formula. And this formula, amount equals principal times 1 plus r, which is the rate, over n, which is the number of years we're talking about, times the total number of years. This is our basic formula, and we can use this for all situations because if we're doing depreciation, n is usually once because we usually just depreciate at the end of each year, so n would be 1. So that works for just regular, yearly depreciation. N would be 1, and this would be negative. So if we're going to do depreciation, this would be P equals 1 minus R to the T, because N is 1 in depreciation problems. In regular appreciation problems, if your value is going up, it would be 1 plus R to the T, when N is 1. That's when, like, a house might appreciate a certain percentage every year. Houses usually go up in value. Real estate usually increases in value. But depreciation could be like an automobile. Those usually go down. So we can use the same formula, just positive for appreciation or when the value is increasing, negative for depreciation when the value is decreasing. So if you look at our first problem, if you invest $3,100 in an account that pays 6.57% interest per year, how much would you have at the end of 13 years if it's compounded annually, quarterly, monthly, daily? We have semi-annually, bi-monthly, and continuously. Well, we'll talk about continuously a little bit later. Annually, n is 1. That means it's going to be compounded once per year. Quarterly, 4 times per year. Monthly, 12 times per year. Daily, 365 times per year, so n is 365. Semi-annually is twice a year, so n would be 2. Bi-monthly is twice a month, so n would be 24. Today we're just, again, going to do A, B, and C, and D. All right, so we write down our data. So P is 3,100. That's my principal or my initial amount. My rate is 6.57%, so I need to change that to a decimal. So when we change a percentage to a decimal, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So that's going to be 0.657. And my time is 13 years. So what I want you to do is write down the formula each time that you're going to use, just so you memorize it. Oops, R over N to the NT. Hopefully my R doesn't look too much like my N. And then, second, I'd like you to put the data into the formula. So amount equals, and my principal is 3,100 times 1 plus, and now N is 1, so this is just going to be 0.0657 over 1, so just be plus 0.0657, and to the 1 times T, or 13. And that's how you're going to work this out. Then I want you to put the calculator strokes down so we see how we're going to put this in our calculator. So that's going to be 3,100, parentheses, 1 plus 0.0657, parentheses, caret, that's our caret that we use for our times 13. And then just calculate it out. So you get out your calculator. Try to make sure there's no glare here. There we go. I think that's all right. Turn it on. And again, we look at our calculator strokes right over here. So I'll put the 3,100 parentheses, find your parentheses on there, and 1 plus 0.0657 parentheses, and then the little caret sign, which raises the power, caret, and 13. And then just press enter. And this is our good old little $1.99 calculator. Works great. And we have 7,089, so there's a comma there. You have to look real close to see whether it's a comma or a dot, but that's a comma if you look close enough on your calculator. $7,089 and 51 cents, and this is less than 5, so I can just drop it. So there's our answer. $7,089.51. Remember, the first comma says thousand. There you go. Move that over. So that's pretty easy. Let's try letter B. So again, if I do give you a problem like this on a quiz, I want you to write down these 4 steps. So your problem will be worth 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So amount equals principal times 1 plus r over n to the nt. And in this case, n was, in our first one, n was 1. In this case, it's going to be compounded quarterly, so n will be 4. So letter B will be, n will be 4. So we'll write this down. Amount equals 3,100 times 1 plus 0.0657 divided by 4, and then 4, which is my n, times the number of years, which is 13. And I can see that 4 times 13, I can work that out first. Save me a parentheses, and 13 and 13 is 26, and 26 and 26 is 52. So that's going to be 52. All right? And then I want to see how you put in the calculator. That's going to be amount equals 3,100, parentheses 1, plus, now when we have a fraction, we have to enclose this in a parentheses, so we have to put another parentheses, 0.0657 divided by 4, parentheses, caret, and then if you put 4 times 13, you'd have to put that in parentheses, or you could put 52. This will probably save you a little bit of parentheses there. All right, and that's how you're going to put in the calculator. So let's do that and see what we get. And you got your calculator in front, so you should be able to figure out the keystrokes. That shouldn't be too much of a challenge. So first of all, I put my, I'm going to do it like this. So just watch those parentheses around the fraction. That's why I want you to write these things out. So we've got 3,100, parentheses, 1 plus, and the parentheses for my fraction, parentheses, all right? And then I've got 0.0657 divided by, and then I've got 4, parentheses, and that's around the fraction. I need a parentheses over here, so I've got 2 here, because I had the number of parentheses you have open on the right must equal the number of parentheses open on the left. So I need another one open on the left. And then my caret, and that's going to be 52. And then press enter. And there's a little bit better. We got a little bit better deal. $7,232.34. Well, since this is bigger than 5, so it'd be 35 cents because you round off. So we're going to carry it to the nearest cent. And since that's bigger than 5, it's going to be 35. So that will equal $7,232.35. And there's your work. There's your calculator. Okay. And these little calculators are pretty good. They got the little arrow over here so you can actually check your work like this. Just by pressing the right arrow, you can make sure you got everything in there right. Okay. So that's A and B. Hope that makes sense.